What is the silent transmission from the spiritual master to the disciple, or from the spiritual teacher to the student? Well, the silent transmission is silence itself. It's the silence that the sounds, the words, are arising out of. It's the silence that's in between the words. It's the silence that surrounds the sounds, that the sounds are arising out of, that the sounds are surrounded by. Everything is contained within the silence, and everything arises out of this silence. And in the silent transmission, there's a tuning to this silence where the student starts resonating with that silence. And that's only possible if the disciple is open. The more open you become, the more sensitive you become. So you're able to sense that silence that is always present, always here, always now. So it's not so much the words of the master, it's not so much the words of the teacher. There's a silent transmission that's working on a much deeper level, on a level that's beyond body and mind. And that's where the transformation is occurring. That's the inner transformation that comes about from the silent transmission. So as one can sit and listen to the teachings, you could say, let the words flow through you. Because when we're always trying to mentally conceptualize the words and try and grasp and understand, we're not able to perceive that silence. But if you can sit and be open and literally let the words flow through you, it's actually the silence that you're tuning into that starts transforming you. That's what's resonating deep in your being. That's what's resonating through your entire being, is that silence. And it feels like it draws you in, feels like you are mesmerized by it, and it draws you in, like you start dissolving and melting. And you notice this when your mind becomes still, that the silent transmission, if you're open enough, meaning you're more sensitive, you're sensitive enough to the silent transmission, you start attuning to that frequency and you become silent. And when you're silent, when the mind is silent, when there's no thoughts, nothing going on, there's a knowingness, a direct knowingness. A direct knowingness, a direct realization, a direct understanding, an understanding that's not conceptual, an understanding that happens within your being, a realization of what you truly are, where you realize your true self. You realize truth in that moment of silence. where the truth is realized in the silence. And it's only the silence that is the environment, for lack of better words, for the truth to be realized. So the silent transmission is very powerful. Most can't take that power. It's that powerful. Silence is the ultimate power. But through constantly being in the silent transmission, being exposed to it, you could say, constantly tuning into it, you notice that it starts transforming you. And experientially, you are experiencing the transformation. And you can continue tuning into it until you become that same silence. I've mentioned this before in other videos, that it's very much like a tuning fork, where the master is, let's say, vibrating at the highest frequency, you could say, and the student is not there. But just like a tuning fork, one's vibrating, the other one matches that by just being in resonance with that frequency. It becomes that frequency. And that's what's happening in the silent transmission. That's what's happening in these videos. If you tune in, if you just remain open and receptive, you'll find that you can start tuning into that silence. You'll start to feel that aliveness within you, that stillness, that silence, that presence, that expansiveness. You start feeling, you become aware of it. And what you're actually becoming aware of is your true self, is the nature of your being. So there's some other things that I could probably say, but let's leave it at that for now to make it nice and short and sweet. And I'll see you in the next one.